This video is about conducting a post-exam analysis. This is not for a grade. This is for your own personal reflection. It's always good to do reflection after an event or an activity to assess how it went, what worked well, what did not work well, and then to make some plans or goals or decisions about preparing for whatever's coming next. So in this case, I have just recently returned your test to you. It could be test 1 or test 2. But looking at this post-exam analysis, I have this in your document sharing, and there are actually 2 documents. One that's a larger document and one that's just a couple of sheets. So what I'm going to show you, I would encourage you, and I do encourage you, to do this for all of your classes. So the first front pages, and by the way, this was prepared by Charlotte Iserhart, who was a supplemental instructor for me for many years, and then she put all of her citations at the end of this. But again, this is not for a grade, so you can look through this front part. It has some really good information in it, but the reason I'm sending this to you is I'd like you to focus, if you're going to do this, on the 5 types of test-taking errors. They're explained on page 6, I believe, of the larger document. So these ideas here, you're going to also notice that they go across here and that they're explained in brief at the bottom. And so what happens, and this was adapted from Paul Nolting's Winning at Math Information. So you see that there is a post-exam analysis inside the big packet, and then there's a large one that is landscape. So I like this one. I'm going to come back and talk more about this one. But just to point out places and pieces, this is where she put the ideas, and this is where she put further explanation down at the bottom. So I want to go look at the bigger one, and both of these documents are in document sharing. So what I would encourage you to do with the test I just recently returned, I would encourage you to go through there, and for every problem that you missed, make a comment about it. Like if I missed something on problem 2, I mean anything on problem 2. If I missed something, I want to try to figure out what I missed. And these can overlap, and you just make the best guess. And this is for you so that you can grow in taking tests and in taking tests in this class specifically. Did I misread the directions? Is that why I missed it? Was it a careless error? The concept error. Did I not even know? I mean, I thought I knew how to do the concept, but I messed up on a piece of it. Or was it a test process error? Maybe the directions said do it to the nearest 10th, and I did it to the nearest 100th. A study error. Did I just flat out study it wrong? So whatever it might be, on problem 2, I'm going to say it was a careless error. And it might be several of these. Again, it's not for me, it's for you. And then maybe I missed something on question 3, and maybe it was a procedure error. And again, down here at the bottom are a few more examples of what these could be. Like I didn't show my work. And so on question number 3, I didn't show my work, so I didn't get full credit. And then maybe I missed something on 6, and it was careless. Wait, 5 and 6 were both careless. Maybe 17, I just studied the wrong thing, and 20, let's just say, did a careless error. And those can be dumb mistakes. That's what we call them, and I don't like it, but it's usually what everybody calls them. And so those can be the things where I was either rushing or fill in the blank. And so then, once you do this, something usually sticks out. And right here, it looks like a bunch of careless errors. And that is great because then I can go into my next test and I can make sure that I do something like, and I know I've mentioned this, go at the very end of the test, start there and match, like use my fingers and touch the directions and touch my answer. If it wanted a time, did I really give a time or did I give something else? Did I round it correctly? Did at the very, very first, did it ask to show work? And did I show work on this one? And the showing work can be a lot of stuff. Sometimes students write words. Sometimes they write out the math. Sometimes they do a little bit of both. Sometimes they draw arrows and point and tell me. It's just a matter of getting you to slow down and look at what you're doing and really hoping to cut out a lot of the careless errors. It could be that you studied a lot of stuff wrong. Well, great. Now you know that when you go back to study, how did you study number 17? How did you study it wrong? Oh, learn from what you were doing or not doing. And even better is if you can write down kind of what you did on the mistake. So this is a great paper to fill out. You can do it for every test and every class, but you're just trying to learn. And then if you keep going in this big packet, this is when you can take as much time as you want, and I encourage you to take time to do this. Oh, there's a second copy of it. I encourage you to take time on this moving forward section. In the moving forward section, ask some really good questions. What patterns did you see on this paper? Talk about it, describe it. And what type of error lost you the most amount of points? That's huge. Sometimes people will do this and they're like, oh my gosh, I could have gone up a letter grade, maybe 2. And then, what's a strategy? This is what I'm going to do to prepare for my next test, or this is what I'm going to do while I'm in my next test. And then you can take it further. Like, let's say you just got back exam 1, and you go through this, you make some adjustments, you study differently, you test differently. And by the way, in document sharing, I've got about 3 different sets of documents about test anxiety, ways to help calm yourself down, help you to study, not poison your brain with worry, and then even during the test to do better. But this is really cool because this is saying between exam 1 and exam 2. You can use it for that, you can use it how you want, but it gets you to write down, what are some things that I do that I want to keep? And what are some things that I want to do that I'm just going to get rid of them, I'm going to kill them off here. And then what are some other things I want to change? You know, I kind of do this, but, you know, it'd be better if I did it this way. And then there are more ideas on this last page, like to set a goal and prioritize. Because it's really easy to get overwhelmed that, oh my gosh, I can't do all of this at once. Well, you're right. Maybe you can, but I like to do things in chunks. So then prioritize. I'm going to do, you know, a couple of kills and a keep and a change. Then make a plan and do a timeline. I know if we never set a timeline of when we're going to start, it's really easy to never start. Get connected. In other words, things maybe you did use that worked well, like if you use the Ask My Instructor, or if you've been using, somebody reported using BrainFuse the other day and it went really well for them. So whatever you're using or whatever you want to start using, jot those down here. And then here are a lot more websites if you want to go look at those and to dig deeper into how to examine a test. But this was a pretty quick video on how to take a post-exam analysis and work that out for the test you just got back or any upcoming test.